Atlanta, how could this not be their year? How could it not? And I think I can prove it to you in a moment. And it's interesting on how we judge stories. The Patriots story, we somehow forget they don't have their best player. They didn't have Tom Brady the first 4 games. They traded away their most versatile linebacker. Like, you check those things off 1, 2, 3, and they're on the cusp of going to another Super Bowl. Oh, the AFC's weak. The Steelers aren't weak. Steelers are loaded for bear with at least offensive talent. Arguably best. They have their best wide receiver. They have arguably the best running back in the game, and they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Is their defense great? No, but it's not like the Patriots' defense is great or the Patriots' offense is great. If I were to tell you that anybody else wouldn't have their star quarterback for the first 4 games, would lose their best and most versatile and hardest matchup pass-catching threat, and would trade away 2 of their best defenders, right? One before the season, one middle of the season, and yet they're on the cusp of going to Super Bowl. Like, that's a pretty incredible story. That one on CBS. Let's get to Atlanta first. Statistically, Matt Ryan has had the best year of any of these quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's gone from a red zone nightmare to an absolute assassin. And I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but the likelihood is it ain't going to get any better than this. Right? Like, you know, there's moments in your life when you're sitting there going like, how could it get any better than this? And you're sitting out, you're overlooking an ocean. I was thinking about what President Obama must be doing today. He's on a flight probably somewhere, right? And you think we vacillated back and forth as to where he could go. And I don't know if the moment he was inaugurated 8 years ago or the moment he was elected 8 years ago, or maybe this evening when he's sitting at home having a glass of wine, one of those 3 are probably like, it doesn't get any better than this, right? Like, where would you go? If you're Obama, you can go anywhere. The point is that there are moments in life when you go, it's not going to get any better than this. I can tell you, I don't think it actually will get any better than this for Matt Ryan. Let me prove it to you. Atlanta's always kind of been a fickle sports town. Some of it because they've been left at the altar of winning championships time and again. Some of it is just kind of the makeup of the city. It's a very spread out city. It's a very diverse city as well. It's a transplant city. Not a ton of people who grew up in Atlanta are diehard Atlanta fans. It's kind of what Miami always was, which is, you know, the Giants come to town, Yankees come to town, etc. Jets come to town. That was the biggest crowd. Kind of same thing. A lot of Northeasterners go down to Atlanta like, man, food's good, a little greasy, women are hot, and the tea is sweet. Like, I love it. I'm staying. A little less expensive, too. So you got some things that work against you in Atlanta. This week in Atlanta, it's a celebration of the end of the Georgia Dome. Like, they're moving into a bigger place. And usually nicer, bigger places lack atmosphere, right? Lack that. And look, it's not like the Georgia Dome is some iconic place. It's 25 years old or whatever, however old the hell old it was. I'm old enough to remember when they played outside at where the Braves used to play, Fulton County Stadium. They used to play outside at Fulton County Stadium, and then they moved to the Georgia Dome. So like I've now lived through new baseball stadium, new football stadium. That's how, but that's also kind of how Atlanta rolls. So it's the end of the Georgia Dome last game. But here's maybe more importantly. It's hard to get consistency in the NFL and be really good. Kyle Shanahan and him have built an incredible bond, incredible relationship, and it's been so good, Shanahan's probably going to be the head coach of the 49ers Monday or 2 weeks from Monday. But he might be named Monday and then still stay on with at the Super Bowl. Can't do it? Can't be offered the job. Okay, I didn't know. Point is, if you're really good as a coordinator in the NFL, you usually get the head coaching job somewhere else the next year. So for a guy he relates to, a guy, and they can finish each other's sentences, like, I don't know how much more that happens. Julio Jones is peak Julio. Is he fully healthy? Probably not, but what's the likelihood Julio Jones is fully healthy ever the rest of his career? They got 2 good running backs. They have other good wide receivers. Vic Beasley is just starting to tap into his potential. And the Green Bay Packers come limping in. Aaron Rodgers is awesome, but he cannot do it alone. They got a bunch of rummies in their defensive backfield, Atlanta's style. In terms of matchups, are you ever going to get a better matchup at home against a team that has a terrible defensive backfield going deep down the field when that's the main focus of your offense? Last game in the Dome, healthy quarterback, healthy core group of players against a team that we don't know if Jordy's going to play. In addition to being hurt, the flu's going through the team. He stayed home today. We don't know if Devontae Adams is going to play. He's not even going to practice until Saturday. If they have him, they're not going to be at full strength. If they don't have him, you're talking about third wide receiver, fourth wide receiver, guys you couldn't pick out of a lineup. I mean, their running back is a wide receiver. Well, that's a mismatch. Is it? So, look, I think Aaron Rodgers is still the best player on the field, but I'm also reasonable about, do you know how much energy they had to expend, how much emotion they had to expend, and the physical toll it takes to beat the Dallas Cowboys? Like, there's a lot of truth to what Mike Tomlin was talking about in that locker room. Hey, the Patriots have a day and a half on us. That might not seem like a lot to you, but it's a lot. If you don't believe that a day and a half, 2 days, whatever, is a lot, look at Thursday Night Football and the difference in the caliber of play on Thursday Night Football and even games that are on Saturday or Sunday. It's a huge difference. Falcons were the early game at home on Saturday. Packers they weren't the late game, but they were a late game on the road on Sunday. An absolute war. Matt Ryan has had an incredible season. He's playing at home. There's no adverse conditions. He's got the best wide receiver in football. He's got the two best running backs on the field. They have the best rush end, linebacker, whatever, and Vic Beasley on the field. Like, everything points in their favor. If not now, when are the Falcons going to get to the Super Bowl again?